Welcome back to the OnlyAccies channel. It's finished here. Hamilton nil, Dundee United nil, and a game that can be described in one word: boring. Joined today by Brandon and Alistair to discuss it. Brandon, I'll come to you first, mate. You've been very trying to be as less negative as possible, trying to put a positive spin on things as much as you can. But today was boring, wasn't it?
No, like I says to you when you first phoned me, I was appreciative you woke me out of my coma. It was just honest to fucking God. The thing that's really pissed me off there is they were fucking honking, they were shite. That's us bottom the league now.
No, second bottom. Motherwell are bottom currently.
Oh, right, okay. Apologies. So did County win 2-1? Aye.
County won 4-1.
4-1?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So we're
Aye,
second bottom. We're a point ahead of Motherwell, but they do have 2 games in hand.
Right, well, so that's us. We'll just say we're going to be bottom soon. That game was there for the taking. Dundee United were horrendous. The thing that really just pissed me off is it's just Rice's arrogance and stubbornness to just play the same players over and over again. If we attacked him remotely there and had a goal, we would have got something at that match. But there was no, like, Augie's came on. He's been out for so long, but I genuinely think you could have put any 3 of us on that park and would have had more touches than him. He touched the ball twice. He did. Aye, it's good to see a player back from injury, but he's touched the ball twice. We've got a striker on our bench there that we've only saw small glimpses of him, and there's clearly an issue with Rice there, and it's his stubbornness and arrogance that's going to just put us down, and that's all it is. Put your personal grievances to the side, what you feel. If there's a player there that's fit and he's going to change a game for us, just at least put an effort on. It's just really annoying. It really annoyed me because Dundee United were pish and we've missed a chance there. Our next 3 games is Celtic, Rangers and Ross County. We're not going to get anything out of Celtic and Rangers, let's be honest. And Ross County's fucking huge now. So it's a massive missed opportunity there because it's 2 points dropped in my opinion.
Pretty much as Brandon said, mate, and it was just boring. I was speaking to you throughout the game, and it was honestly just nothing happening. I think that formation that we're playing with the kind of 5 at the back, with 2 in front, with Adolfin and Stirling, allows McMahon and Hodgson to go forward. But even when they do, there's nobody supporting, and you're just playing umpteen fullbacks to cover the fullback role. Like, so every time somebody goes forward, somebody else covers, and that's it. Like, we're getting, like, defensively today, I think we looked all right, but Dundee United were pretty much as shite as us going forward.
Yeah,
there wasn't really any.
And like he says, I had to sort of change the formation and change the way we were set up. And by doing what he done, he certainly made us more stable at the back and stopped us getting pumped week in, week out. But that doesn't mean you need to play that fucking formation and that set up every single game. You're playing a Dundee United team there that are fucking horrendous. They had 30 shots into them against St Johnstone during the week, but yet we are still setting up that same negative defensive way with 7 defenders on the park and giving them that much sort of, what's the word, much respect when we don't need to be. If we had any sort of remote go at them, the game would have been different. But because we're playing that setup, they players, there's no creativity, there's no spark of attacking forwards, and we're just not going to threaten them. If we threatened them remotely at all today, we'd have won the game. Apart from the one absolute phenomenal save for Fulton. Fuck knows how he saved that.
That was unreal.
That was one of the best Accies saves since I've saw since Gary Woods against Thistle. As you say, Ben, I've tried to be as positive as I can recently because people see me as a negative bastard, which I'm a, but I'm just so pissed off with that. After the fans went and had a go at him, so he thought, oh, they want me to be defensive. They want me to stop us getting pumped. So his arrogance about keeping with that way is going to just negatively affect us for the rest of the season because it just seems like he's not going to change that. And if we're not going to create chances, if we're not going to threaten, then we might get the sneaky 1-0 wins.
I think there's no denying, obviously, the change formation has definitely made us obviously stronger in defence, and having Easton and Martin back obviously helped today. But I do agree that later on the game, and I said it on the when I was doing the tweets, that it was screaming out for a positive change. And he brought on Augie and he brought on Winter, but they were like for like changes. He needed to change something up and do something different. He needed to say put it to a back 4 and add something. I'd say Johnson in or bring Mimno on even for those late corners and free kicks that we were getting. But it's a game, Alistair, that suffered because of poor in-game management, in my opinion.
Moyo, I'm not I quite like Moyo. I think he does a lot of work. More so defensively than forward though as well. Like you seen it, I think it was about the 70th minute maybe. He was out wide left, put in a couple of good challenges, got the ball. His final ball was poor, but that's across the board. Everybody in the team at the moment, the final ball's poor. I don't particularly like Augie. I think there's a weird thing with Augie. As I remember him in his first spell, he wasn't very good. Then he went out with a lengthy injury, and then everyone's waiting him coming back, and it was, oh thank God he's back. And then it was a bit mince again, and everyone goes off, and then he gets injured, and then you expect more from him when he comes back, and he never really does it. I'm not a massive fan of Ogdenpo. I think Moyle offers a lot more. I'm not a fan of Callum Smith whatsoever. I've not seen much fundamental that suggests that he's going to change the game. But I think we need to start using players that we've not seen. These players are, I was going to say tried and tested, but tired and tested is probably more accurate. I'd like 100%. To see Tunde getting a bit more game time for the clips that we've seen of him, and when he's been on for 5 minutes here and there, he's physical, he likes playing on the shoulder and almost being a bit of a bully, and that's kind of what that game was crying out for the day.
Being a bit more expansive and taking a risk, I think, is the biggest thing. And like Brandon said, I think part of it is arrogance maybe, but I think more of it is the fear of getting pumped again, because I feel that he thinks now if he drops to a back four, then they're just going to score. They're going to score loads of goals, and then he'll get a bollocking again.
How can you expect us to threaten a team more when we're just in like for like subs?
Yeah, no, that's
exactly how can you? I know what you're getting at, mate, and I understand what Alistair says, and me and my pal had a discussion, and we said exactly what he says. Moyle seems to offer quite a lot in the defensive department. Like
he plays better out wide.
Aye, and don't get me wrong, as a striker, obviously the main objective is to score goals, but I completely understand what you mean. He does off, in my opinion, and I don't think a lot of people, my pals, will agree, he offers a lot in there. He offers
I think it's just me and you, mate.
Good.
I think that's it.
It is, but see, like he says, Callum Smith, absolutely rotten. There was a reason why fucking Dunfermline didn't want to keep him, in my opinion.
Yep.
I try and cry about it as much as I can on Twitter about Dundee and Johnson, and people might think I've got man crushes on them, but I barely even saw them, so I've no. It's just the sheer fact that we've not saw much of them. In the small periods of time we saw Johnson, he's had an impact. The stats don't lie about Dundee. So surely to fuck this English league he's came for is no worse than League One in Scotland. And it just shows to me that there's some sort of arrogance and stubbornness and favouritism with certain people and certain players that they just refuse to fucking budge. Because if the game management was better there, and they done the like for like subs that they done, but then you maybe bring a Johnson or a Tunde on for, let's say, Stirling and go a bit more attacking, you're going to threaten them more and you're going to pressure them more. And if we pressured them there, they would have crumbled because they were fucking shite.
I'm scared to ask for a man in the match.
Mine's is easy.
Okay, and I suppose I'm the same maybe between two or three. I think Ryan Fulton deserves a chance purely for that save alone. That save saved us going 1-0 down. I thought Jamie Hamilton was excellent today. I thought he was very calm, the ball defended well. I thought Brian Easton was also excellent. And then Hakeem Adolphin as well. If I had to pick one, I would give it to Ryan Fulton purely based on that save alone, because that kept it a stalemate.
Right, okay, mine just Fulton and Hamilton, so I'll go Hamilton just to balance it out.
Brandon, you said yours was easy?
Hamilton all day long, Jamie Hamilton. I completely understand your logic, because that save was different class, and I was talking to my pals about it when he made it, and it genuinely was one of the best saves I've watched in a football game in a long time. It's the fact that he's had to react to it so quick, but the fact he's managed to get it over the bar, it was different class. But no,
I don't even
Jamie
think he believed it.
No, I know. But with regards to my match, Jamie Hamilton was, I feel the past couple of games, especially when he's been playing with Easton and Martin, he's coming into a game, he looks confident. He doesn't look the way he looked last year when he was he didn't look comfortable in a game until he was getting booked or sent off, which is true. But he looks comfortable. He's going forward with the ball. He's dribbling past players. He's passing the ball quite well, apart from one pass that was quite off. But no, he looks very comfortable in that. There wasn't many choices for man of the match, but I know all day long mine was Hamilton.
And Alistair, how much of an impact do you think that Aaron Martin and Brian Easton partnership has on Jamie Hamilton, because I think it's clear to see that they are helping him improve massively.
Well, that's what I was going to say. When you were talking about a back five and the possibility of going to a back four, but you're talking about Rice being stubborn. When we were using the back four, the personnel wasn't there. I mean, we have Aaron Martin now, who looks a good defender. We have Jamie Hamilton. We've got Brian Easton. So we have two established defenders and a young boy who's coming through. So I think a back four is perfectly feasible now with the squad that we've got. If you maybe deploy Hamilton at right back on the opposite side to McMahon. But what I thought was happening today was a lot of time McMahon was getting up very high up the pitch. Easton's getting left to be the ball carrier for the team, and that's not what he is. That was Easton in 2009 when he was at his first, but he's a bit past that now. He's more a central player. I'm not a fan of that system. But sorry, as for Hamilton, I think they could have a massive input in him, especially Easton coming through at kind of similar age to Hamilton at Hamilton. I think it could be a great influence for him.
And as always, just before we finish, got a few tweets and fans stood out. Dave, who was on last week's episode, said, really frustrating. Game was there to be won. Good points. Our Easton and Martin return was massive. Hamilton played really well. We are screaming out for some creativity, though. Winter brought on late. Surely Johnson comes on for the last 15 minutes. Frustrated, we weren't more positive. Following the same lines as what we were just saying there. M&D, Red and White, said, Rice out. He can take his luck. His anti-football, his bus, his 7 defence, his big punts, his horrific tactics, and his horrendous strikers and leave. He is taking us down to leagues at this rate. Bring Ali Dawson back. John Patterson, obviously a well-known Accies fan, says too many defensive players in that midfield that can't pass a bottle. Clearly, creativity has been a big problem for seasons. No use in trying to sign strikers if they can't create chances. That's true. If we are not going to use Dundee or Johnson, get them to fuck, as they're there just to fill the bench. Again, following from what we were saying there, we would like to see more of them. But unfortunately, it's not coming to fruition. Kenneth Fee said a draw with Dundee United isn't such a bad result, but definitely a missed opportunity, especially with results elsewhere are unfavourable. A lot of people saying the game was boring. Stephen says utter shite in terms of attacking, but Jamie Hamilton was phenomenal man in the match by far. So you can see that everyone's kind of feeling the same way. It was a missed opportunity. More positive changes probably would have won us the game, but unfortunately Brian Rice just didn't do it. Still a few calls for Brian Rice out. We're not sure how that's going to go. It seems as if he's here to stay though. And as we said, it does leave us second bottom of the table, Motherwell bottom, but with 2 games in hand. They play Rangers tomorrow night. I imagine Rangers will win that game with the run that they're on. But like I said, they still have 2 games in hand. So even with that, I think we'll find ourselves bottom soon enough unless we start picking up points. Our next game is away to Celtic over at Parkhead. So I'd hate to sound negative, but I think we can cross that off as a loss. And then the most important game after that is home to Ross County the following week. That is a massive game. Ross County on a really good run of form. Just beat Aberdeen today 4-1. So Yogi obviously having a big impact there. Obviously, a few Accies fans wanted him at Accies, but it didn't go that way. We stopped with Brian Rice. Tomorrow, Brandon and I are sitting down to record our big 2020 podcast, a review of all things Accies in the year 2020. There is a lot, by the way, so it will be a long episode. And at the end of that episode, we will have a very special announcement, so look out for that as well, and one that will involve all Accies fans, and we want your opinions on it as well. Thank you very much for watching. We hope this was maybe a bit more exciting than the game itself. If you did like the content though, be sure to hit subscribe down below. It does help us out. And as always, share this episode about. If you have any thoughts of your own, leave them in the comments or jump over to our social media. You can contact us there. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next week.
I